So good morning online all. Today we are going to deal with how data is transmitted in computer networks. So we all know that this lesson deals with how data is transmitted across various computers in a computer network. So we all know what is data transmission. So data transmission is also called as digital transmission or digital communication, and by the name data transmission we mean the physical transfer of data. That is, the data is transmitted from one computer to another over a point-to-point or a point-to-multi-point communication channel. And this data may be a digital bit stream or a digitized analog signal. The process of sending digital or analog data over a communication medium to one or more computing network or communication or electronic devices is called data transmission. And this data transmission occurs when a device or a piece of equipment, such as a computer, intends to send a data object or a file to one or more recipient devices like a computer or a server. And the digital data is actually originated from a source in the form of discrete signals or digital bit streams. So now we can see various transmission modes in a computer network. So now you are familiar with how the data transmission or what is the need for data transmission in a computer network, and now we can see the different transmission modes in a computer networks. So we all know that the transmission means what? Transmission is the transferring of data between two devices, and it is also called, this transmission mode is also called the communication mode, and these modes direct the direction of flow of information. The three types of transmission modes are simplex mode, half duplex mode, and full duplex mode. So this is how we can represent the transmission mode. We categorize the transmission mode into three: simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. And this figure represents the various transmission modes. And now we can see each one in detail. The first one is called the simplex mode. So what do you mean by simplex mode? In simplex mode of data communication, data can be transmitted in only one direction. That is, the communication is unidirectional. So if I have a CPU and if I have a monitor, and if the data is to be transmitted from the CPU to the monitor, and then we say that it is a single direction of data. Direction of data occurs in only one way. So this is an example of a simplex mode. So from the CPU to monitor, no data is transmitted from the monitor back to the CPU. So that is why it is called unidirectional. And another examples of simplex mode data transmission equipments are loudspeaker, television, broadcasting, television and remote, keyboard, and monitor, etc. So in the case of television, we all know that the data will be transmitted from the television to the television screen only. The no backward direction of data transfer occurs in simplex mode. So this is the example for a simplex mode. And now we can see the next mode of data transmission called half duplex mode. And in half duplex mode, we can send the data in both directions. That is, from one system to another and from that system back to the origin. So that is why it is called bidirectional. Though it is bidirectional, we cannot transmit both the data at the single time. Simultaneously, we cannot send the data in forward and backward direction. That is, we can send the data in both directions, but it is done one at a time. That is, when the sender is sending the data, then at that time we cannot send the sender our message. That data is sent in one direction at a time. Though it can be transmitted in both directions, it can be transmitted one at a time. Example is walkie-talkie, in which message is sent one at a time and the message is sent in both the directions. And now we can see about the another mode of transmission, which is called the full duplex mode. And in full duplex mode, again, this also can transmit data in both directions, and it is also called bidirectional. And this direction, that is transmit of data, can occur simultaneously. Example, telephone network. So we all know that while we are making a call, the caller can speak, which can be heard at the other end. At the same time, while the caller is speaking, the caller or the one at the other end, that is at the receiver end, can also speak back. So both direction of flow of data, both direction is possible in the case of what? Full duplex mode. So it can also be represented like this. In full duplex system, there can be two lines, one for sending the data and the other for receiving data. So it is usually represented by a single line with arrow headed. So these are the three modes of transmission. So in a network between the two nodes or two computers, we can transmit data, and this transmission of data can be either in simplex mode, half duplex mode, and full duplex mode. And simplex mode, it can transmit in only one direction. Half duplex mode, at a time it can be transmitted in one direction, and in full mode, in full duplex mode, you can transmit the data in both directions. Thank you.